here. Okay, today, is it recording? Yes, today,
Yes,
Doug
it is.
Buckley's going to do a presentation, a combination of
What's
show
that?
and tell, where he's going to show us some interesting slideshows or videos, whatever you want to call them, that he made using Lightroom, and then explain how he did it. And then next Wednesday, there's a collaboration between Doug, myself, and Amy based on some of the questions we had from Wednesday's presentation on lenses. We're all three, without collaborating, I'm not going to tell Doug what I'm doing, vice versa, or Amy, but we're all going to shoot with a 50mm prime, and then each of us present 5 photos each, showing, explaining what we did and perspective, and show both the effect, the perspective effect of a 50mm, and what using a prime lens, which by prime I mean a fixed focal length lens, forces you to do in composing the picture. So that's our project for Wednesday, this upcoming Wednesday. I think you're going to find it very interesting. I spent 2 hours doing it this morning, and even though I've done a lot of that off and on, it was with that specific thought in mind. I found it very interesting. So,
Steve, I have a question.
yes.
Did you use your tripod already, the new one?
Oh, several times. I'm using it a lot. I love it. It's so much easier to use than my old one.
Was it expensive?
Yes, it was.
All relative.
It's all relative, yeah. But I have a really nice older carbon fiber tripod that was expensive, and I have 2 heads for it, so that's for sale. If somebody's looking for one, it's much bigger, and it's much bigger. It won't fit in a suitcase. It would be useful for some things, but I needed a travel one because I travel, and as soon as I can travel again, I will be traveling again. So,
Don't count on it.
well, I plan to live beyond the plague. So that's my current plan.
Roger that.
Yeah,
That's a goal, yes.
and get a vaccine. I could be wrong, but if somebody were to ask me, I would guess the VA is going to make a very big effort to get the vaccine to veterans.
Are they going to have it for veterans?
What's that?
Are they going to have it at the VA for veterans?
Well, I have no
Yeah.
idea,
Oh,
but
yeah.
if I were to make a guess, I just, that's what I anticipate, that the VA is going to, they've got a lot of pull. I mean, they're the largest buyer of prescription drugs in the United States. And they have a lot of pull.
I don't know why, but we're getting a lot of
Anybody hear that noise?
Yeah, where's
Yeah.
that coming
a lot
from?
of static. A lot of static coming in.
I get it too. Static.
You're getting a lot of noise somewhere.
I thought it was me, so I turned off my mic.
Drifting off.
Everybody individually, one at a time, turn off your mic and see if it's you.
Stopped.
Yeah,
Who was it?
Linda.
Raise your hand if it was you. Must
No,
have-
it wasn't me. It
Well,
was
let's
still
get-
going when my mic was off. My mic was off before you said everybody turn off your mic. Hey, but
Anyhow,
it stopped.
I think it's Stephen Foreman.
well, Mr.
Oh.
Foreman, you might want to give Kevin a call, or maybe if Kevin can call you, he wants to ask you about your 18-400 lens. So,
Well, I was just commenting on the value cost.
yeah, it's you, Mr. Foreman. I'm sorry. I could tell.
I had to go in through my browser, and now I'm like the head of the Zoom thing. I'm only seeing like one person at a time.
Wow.
I think we're getting a static from him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're making a huge, much more than normal today.
Yes, it's a different screen.
Hmm.
That microphone on that unit you have is terrible.
It's probably even worse now because, like I said, Steve, whenever I first tried to get on, he said he canceled me or something. Then I had a problem getting on.
Hmm.
Have you tried a headset with microphone?
I can do that.
I wonder if that would make a difference.
I'm gonna go out.
I'll
I'm
watch.
gonna go out and try again.
Go off and come back in. I'll watch for you.
Okay.
No Amy today?
Amy is doing her best. She had to go to Pasadena, and she says, even if I close the door, keep an eye open, she's going to try and join us. She may be a little bit late. Hopefully she will make it. She gave me fair warning. Well, it's 3:07. I'm surprised we only have 13 today, but usually we do a little better. So let's start with.
Oh, Tommy's not going to be here because, okay.
You want to start, Linda or Catherine? Want to start? You have anything to announce?
Is Catherine? Oh, there's Catherine.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
She's on your left, or on your my left, your right.
Okay. Okay, I'll start. I will send it out in the next email. But the Creative Arts now is shared 2 links to some writing and to I think to the other parts of the creative Veterans Creative Arts that we never really get a chance to see. And since we're under this at home thing, now the Nationals put together something that they can share with us at home. So look for that in the next email I send out on Tuesday. It's really good. Okay. I can't think of anything else right now, except that if anyone wants to start sending me pictures and your photos, I'd like to build the digital booklet. And
Good idea. Yeah.
so
That's 3 to 5 images?
yes, 3 to 5, 3 to 6. I'll take what you send.
Mhm.
Linda, did you get clarification on the dates of Creative Arts?
No, not yet. And a lot of this is going to be virtual. And they may even start sharing with us. I'm excited because the links that they just sent, we get a chance to see things that none of us get a chance to see. So with this virtual, you guys will be able to see what they, more of what people share. And so, I'm a happy camper right now.
So is
So
that going to be like a Facebook page or there's some kind of a community organization we can join and get updates and stuff like that? Is that what that is?
oh, sure. The links I send out, you'll be able to go there and see what they do. There will be, usually they do have a link, when they do post for each year for the show, you go there where you can go and apply, go and get the information and download the booklet and stuff like that. Things are just different. So everybody's up in the air on it, but they're going to do things virtually this time around. Things are going to be done from home. And I'm just excited because everyone gets a chance we may get a chance to see more people's work. Anyway.
I just got a message from Steve Foreman. He's still having trouble trying to log on. So he said he will see us Wednesday.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, he's evidently having some issues. Well, Catherine, you have anything?
Well, Robin, this week, our challenge is nighttime photography. And then Robin's got something for us the following week. Do any of you want to be on the list to do future challenges? Do we have any volunteers that?
Sure, I'll.
As I
to
said,
create a
you can-
challenge?
One before.
You can put me on once a month, Catherine.
Okay.
So if you put me on again, I don't know, are you guys gonna be dark through the holiday? What's the plan? Okay,
That's a good question. Originally, I had said yes, but even at Thanksgiving, we decided to go ahead on the Wednesday. And the plague is getting worse, so we're staying home anyhow. We're not going anywhere, essentially. Rolando's not going anywhere. So I guess is Christmas on Friday?
yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
We could go ahead with Wednesday
Okay,
and go dark on Friday. How's that
that
sound?
works.
Catherine,
be
you could
around.
put me down for the second week of January.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh, that sounds good.
Okay. Oh, I have an announcement. This Sunday, May and I are going to get up real early and drive to Ostrich Farmland between Bulletin and Solvang and take pictures of.
oh, I love that.
Have you been there?
Yes, I have.
No, I've
Yeah,
never been there.
it's so cool. I mean, you're just driving along in these humongous, beautiful birds and that whole drive. Did anyone ever see the movie? Oh gosh,
The
it's
wine.
about the wine movie. What am I trying to, anyway,
I know.
yeah, Sideways.
Yeah.
And you can actually map out the Sideways tour and it goes through that whole area and all of the ostrich farms and all of that. It's so beautiful. It really is.
I'm looking forward to it. I've only seen them in the wild, so this will be interesting seeing
Huh.
them on a farm when you walk around, feed
Yeah.
them and stuff. So,
Careful, they bite.
oh, I know.
I never got closer than just walking up to the fence. I don't know that they let you in with them.
No,
I'm
no,
not sure.
They don't. They're very aggressive.
Yeah.
But in
But
Australia,
such a pretty drive,
yeah.
such a pretty drive. So,
Use a
go to
filter on the lens, the UV
Vivos.
filter. They like to peck the lens, so be careful.
yeah.
All right, well, I've got a limited time here because it's already 10 after 6 here. So should we start or?
Yes. So let's go. Now we're turning it over to Doug. Let me screen sharing here. Let me. Okay, you can share your screen, Doug.
All right, now I'm going to use share computer sound this time so we can hear some better noise.
Oh,
All right, let me get started here. Everybody see my screen okay?
Yes.
Yes.
And obviously you can hear me okay?
Yes.
All right. Basically, what we're going to do today is Kevin sort of started it. Robin sort of talked about it a little bit as far as the Burns effect, which is part of the editing process, if you will, of creating a video, whether it's using Lightroom or Photoshop or a dedicated software program to make video images. Basically, video processing software is designed to choreograph your video, combining several cuts or scenes, video segments, and single photographs, which is kind of what we typically do in the Lightroom side of things. And you can add, as we talked about, the Burns effect, which is panning up and down or sideways, fading in and out. Using the software, you can add music or text to your videos, as well as combining multiple videos under one final output of a video. The video software, some of it's very expensive. It can be thousands of dollars if you're looking for a professional grade software, or some of it's free to download if you don't need a lot of the fancy features in it. The more features in it, definitely the steeper the learning curve is. As far as the learning how to use it, a lot of people. Pardon me? I'm sorry? Oh, okay.
Is that Linda and Mary coming on?
No?
It's Alan.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Certainly a lot of the features in the learning curve, a lot of people, if you compare, say, Lightroom to Photoshop, Lightroom is pretty easy compared to learning Photoshop. And a lot of the video processing software is the same way. Some of the examples of video processing software, this is by no means all. This is just some I grabbed this morning. We've already talked about Adobe Lightroom, very basic, particularly when it comes to some of the add-on features like Burns effect. Photoshop is more advanced. You can do the fade-ins and fade-outs much more precise and a lot more complicated in Photoshop than you can in Lightroom. Another Adobe product called Premiere Pro, which is dedicated strictly for video processing. That's a professional grade. If you take that, kind of like looking at Lightroom, when you see Adobe Premiere Elements, it's kind of like Lightroom versus Photoshop. It's a lot more basic and simpler than Photoshop would be, or the Premiere grade of Adobe Pro grade. Getting out of, getting into more, staying in the Adobe Premiere Rush. Now, Adobe Premiere Rush is almost specifically for your cell phones and tablets when it comes to video editing. It is an Adobe product. It is also included in the basic photographer's monthly subscription package from Adobe. So if you have that package, you've got Photoshop, you've got Lightroom, you also would have Premiere Rush inside that package. Stepping away from Adobe, you go into the Corel products. They've got a Video Studio Ultimate, also pro level, CyberLink Power Director. One that I have used is this DaVinci Resolve. Now, this is one that basically has a free version that you can download, and it gives you a lot of the features for fading in, fading out, adding text at the free level, but you can step it up to a high grade pro level and spend thousands of dollars. And this is probably one of the premier softwares used in the professional video photographer market. One I don't know anything about, this Filmora Ag 9. Final Cut is a Mac product, Apple product, if you will. It's for Mac computers. Used to be a low-level product available at virtually no cost. They went to the pro level, and it's a very expensive product. And then Pinnacle Studio. So in these software packages, we're talking about specifically today the Burns effect. What is the Burns effect? Ken Burns is a photographer, video photographer, a cinematographer, who basically is the person who probably has used it the most recently. And it's the name that generically applies to the using of the panning and the zooming effects to create movement in still images and videos. Ken is well known as a documentarian. A couple of his documents, he does a great job on one on the Civil War. He did one on baseball. He did one on National Parks, America's Best Ideas. And that was actually on PBS, the 2-hour program last week. He's got a lot more. He's earned Academy Award nominations as well as several Emmy Awards. Okay, so what is the Burns effect? So you can see how that panning effect, the zooming in and zooming out, does add motion to basically a single image. Now, obviously, when you start this software, whether it's LightRoom, whether it's should be LightRoom or any of the video softwares, you basically start by gathering together or assembling the components you want to add to your videos. These include video clips. They could be long, they can be short. Any still photographs that you're going to combine. Then you start to add in your various artistic features like fades, pans, zooms, text, music, obviously, to create your final video. Any questions on that so far?
No.
So
Fantastic.
basically what I was going to do is start with call it a theory or a project. Linda, you started basically last Wednesday with the submission of our best photographs of 2020.
Yes.
So what I did basically is get together, combine my best photographs to basically try and find the 3 or 5 to make my submission. Now, the way if you've seen this in the past, put my photographs together in the basic catalog of Lightroom is I put my folders together in the catalog, and then when I'm going to basically put together either a slideshow or just for my own versions, I will create a collection, and the collection is where I gather together the photographs of the topic that I'm working on. So underneath the folders that are in your you have this area called collection. These are the various collections that I put together. To put a new collection in, you start off with create collection. You put a name together. And I go ahead and create it. And then up here and there, you'll see it, I think right here.
Can I interrupt
Under
a
M for
second?
my.
When you do that setup, there's an option to click that says to make it the default one. And then as you go back up through your catalog, if you see a picture you want in the collection, you just hit the letter B and
Right.
it adds it. Sorry for the interruption.
That's right. So basically, I have an empty collection at this point. Now, we have seen from Stephen has shown us in the past how we can go through our large group of photographs and basically sort them out by subject or lens or location, sometimes using keywords. So as we go up here to the top of my photographs, you will notice that I have over 56,000 photographs to choose from.
Wow.
And because of the way I put mine in alphabetical order rather than years, it's going to be a little hard for me to pull them out.
Oh, you back here.
Now you can see, say for an example, when I put it under topic, here's my Zion topic, and we've been to Zion 9 times. I put those under years, but the category itself is called Zion. So if I go up here to the picture, this is the hard drive of where my photographs are. I'm going to move this out of the way if I can, get it up here. If I come over to the, oops, let me see, get this down. If I come over to the library edition and I come over here to the keywords, here's my keyword list. If I go down to 2020, you'll see that I have 1,900 photographs that were taken in 2020. So if I click on that, that pulls up my images that were created in 2020. And all I have to do is go through these images one by one and add them to that collection that I created. So I just drag them and put them into that collection.
No,
I can zoom
if I
in
can
to
interrupt,
a full frame to see what this image looks like. But I
keep in,
basically go through the images, and when I find one I want, I'll go ahead and put it over here into the collection.
keep in mind, it's not making a second copy. It's just, Lightroom is just remembering where that picture is when he goes to collection. And had he selected this as the target thing, he wouldn't have to drag it. He'd just hit the
It
key
would
letter.
automatically move over.
Yeah, hit the
So I've
letter.
already put together my best images of 2020. So what we would do then at this point, let me get rid of the people here. Up on
That
top.
hurt.
Okay. Now, what you would do while you're in a collection is basically you're going to sort the images. Now, because these came from all over my hard drive, they were probably from various locations. As I look through them, I can see that we've got the duck pond down in Long Beach. We've got the Long Beach El Dorado Nature Center. I've got images here from the Union Station. So what I will do is basically gather these together and basically put them together as they were grouped, if you will, from the hard drive. I'll go ahead. Here's another one from the duck pond. This one's from Pacific Grove. Here we have some from our visit to the center down at the VA hospital, the patient gardens. This is from the patient garden as well. So as you go through and sort them out, what you would do then at that point is, because I've got them broken out into the categories, I would probably go in and create dividers for them. So as I go through my video, I'll have a divider that says this was in the duck pond, this was in El Dorado Nature Center. So I've already done that. I've created these titles in Photoshop. So all I have to do is drag them down into the collection. Come on. Best of 2020. And then basically put them together and drag them up to the beginning of an area. So I've got the duck pond. I've got the patient garden down here. I've got Pacific Grove kind of working in this area, the Union Station working in this area, and then El Dorado Nature Center kind of working in this area. So I put them together. I'll do my final sorting. I've got butterflies, I've got squirrel, I've got flowers. So I want to basically put flowers together. Here's a squirrel. I'll keep the squirrel together. Union Station, these photographs down here. And I think that's okay. Now, having done that, I'm ready to, at this point, move on into the slideshow module of Lightroom. Let me bring this down. So as I go into the slideshow module, I have already created, as you saw before some time ago, how to create a slideshow. All I have to do at this stage is start at the top, and we've got the area for the guides. That is basically the frame around it, or how much free space around the image. We come down here and I can basically create a starting image, an intro screen, if you will. I can add that to the collection of images. I can do the same thing with an ending screen, and I can edit that at any time and change it to whatever matches my subject. Coming down to the bottom, I can make it, or a little further down into the bottom, I can go ahead and do an automatic or manual adjustment. Under manual means that the photographs will continue one after the other manually by using the left or right key on your keyboard. If I use
Ken,
the
can you
automatic
please?
mode, I can control how much time each image is on the screen for before it changes. I can also do the crossfade. The crossfade is I taper from one image slowly into the other image, and I control how fast that is here. If I'm doing just basic images, somewhere around 6 to 7 seconds per image is about normal for a video presentation. If your slides have text in it, where you have to read that, 6 or 7 seconds often is just too short of time. So you might increase that to 9, 10, or 11 seconds. Now, at this stage of the game, I can go ahead and give it a shot and just kind of see where we are so far. So I hit this preview button here, or I could use the preview here or the play, and it's going to basically start and see how our progress is doing. You start off with the first one. It's going to go about 7.5 seconds and fade to the next one. Here's our topic area from the duck pond. Then it'll start into the slides of the duck pond. All right, so we're liking what we see so far. So we can go ahead and stop it. Now, one of the things we talked about, obviously, this whole presentation is on the panning and the zooming. The panning and the zooming, basically, you have to click this box. As we've mentioned before, it turns it either on and off. You can't really control what sequence, whether you're going to fade in, fade out, zoom in, zoom out. You can't control that. The software does it. But what you can control with this slider is how aggressive or how quick that fade in, fade out takes place. So let's give it a shot again and try it again. Whoops, I screwed up here. Just a second. Let me go back to the library mode.
Third one.
Start over again, go to this library. And now we've got how quickly that's going to come in. Come on. Come on. All right. Make a liar out of me.
Okay.
There we go. Notice how fast that's panning in and panning out. So we can control that with this slider right here. Now, once we've got our timing in and once we have our time set here, you'll notice right down here, this is telling us that we have 31 slides. And with that time frame per slide, we're going to have a total of about 4.25 minutes worth of presentation. Now, one of the features we can add to a presentation like this is music. Right here at this point, we can click on, and this will bring up, and you would search where you have your music. I'm going to cancel that for just a second. I'm going to go into my hard drive. I have my music that I've accumulated over years. Under my music stuff, that's where I typically keep my sound loops. And I've got those categorized by fast pace, moody. Typically on an image like this, you obviously want to, or the slideshow, you want to add or match the music type to the particular photographs that you have. Now we saw that we were basically just around a 4-minute presentation. So I kind of scanned down here for a 4-minute presentation. Here's one at 3 minutes and 52 seconds. That would shorten down that 7.5 seconds to a little bit. So we'll give it a preview, see what it sounds like. Can you hear that?
Yes.
Very good.
Okay, maybe I decide I don't really want to hear that one. So we go down and keep trying in the same time frame. We got some here for 8 minutes, 5 minutes. Here's a 4 and 30 second. So but basically what I did, I went ahead and scanned down through my image, my music already, and I came up with Peter White. Peter White is kind of what I would call some of the smooth jazz type. Peter Pearson's the same way. So I went down here and I chose this one at 4 minutes and 20 seconds. And I decided I like the mood, I like the effect it has. So we'll go back to LightRoom. I'll go ahead and add that to the music. Now, at this stage of the game, to match the music and the images, fit the music, and unfortunately, they all come together. I think I just froze LightRoom. All right, it did click it finally. So at this stage, I can go ahead and do another preview, hopefully. Now, one of the things that we can do is we've added the dividers for the subjects, but we don't really have a description of what each individual photograph is. If this is just going to self-play, I'm not going to be around to be the moderator. I want to maybe add a topic name or something underneath that. You see this text? I can add custom text to the image. My photo, and it'll pop up and I can move that around anywhere I want to.
Wow.
There's some categories here, custom text, and one of those is a title. And basically, if I have assigned the title in the metadata of the image, down here where it says title, if I've put a title there, it will now show in that area wherever we put it. So let's go back and start over again just before we go ahead and burn our video. We'll start the slideshow one more time, and just to see how we did with the name. Now, where it says empty, anytime there's nothing there, when you actually play the video, it's not going to be there. Just those ones that have a title. So we've got the title showing. So at this stage of the game, basically, we're ready to go ahead and burn our video. Now we have our slide room presentation. We can export it as a PDF. And if we export it as a PDF, that basically is not going to allow music, nor is it going to allow your pan and zoom. But if we export it as a video, it will have all of that, plus all of the changes we've made here. So we just click on video, export video, and we go ahead and put a name to it. Best of 2020. And you can see here, I've already burned that, so there's no reason. Something this large, which when we're putting it together, this is probably going to take me 15, 20 minutes to burn it. So I'm going to cancel it. And I'm going to go ahead and get out of LightRoom here for a minute. And I'm going to go ahead and get into and we'll go ahead and show you what the final product looks like. If I can get the right folder, there we go. All right, best of 2020. This will be the final project. As we saw before, this will be about 4.5 minutes.
That was really nice.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
I
You
don't know
did
if
a
you can
wonderful
use,
job.
the only thing I could say is, I find it hard to use the word best with 2020.
Now, I think we sort of, if you wanted to see another one, I've got a couple other ones. They're all about the same 8 minutes.
Okay.
I think I'd like to see the Bodie one.
The Bodie, okay.
I
Now, the
don't-
Bodie one, I will tell you right up front, has more text in it. So let's go on over here to Bodie.
Sounds great.
Photography.
Bodie is a special place.
Photograph. Okay, under slideshows and music. Get rid of pictures here. Bodie. That's my wife.
I see a white square in the middle of it. What's this gonna be?
Wow.
How is access controlled and when can you go and what hours are they open?
Well, they're basically, as far as any daytime hours, they're, it's like sunset to sun or sunrise to sunset. There is a fee, I believe it's $10 or so to get in. It's off of Route 395 north of Mammoth Mountain, not quite into, well, there is a designated road to it. The road's about 13 miles long. The first 7 or 8 miles are paved. The last 4 miles or so are dirt. Depending upon the weather, that dirt can get kind of sloppy. Depending upon how late in the season it is, that road can get pretty ruddy. But it's certainly, any car can get back to that Bodie Park. Now, in the winter, that road will get snowed in. And once it's snowed in, they don't plow it. So the winter months would not be available to go to Bodie. Springtime through early fall, no problem at all.
I liked how you went to black and white in a couple of pictures. It really gave it character.
Thank you.
I like that.
Well, I like all the historical information. That was good.
I
feel like
have-
learned something.
I
Any
have,
questions or
besides,
anything?
besides my collection of old patent medicines, I have a collection of stock certificates from a lot of Western towns in California, Nevada, old mining towns from the 1800 and mines such as the Standard. And historically, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
I have one stock certificate of the Bodie to Hawthorne Telephone Company, and the name on it that it went to was the Chinese boss in Bodie. And I
Well,
have the whole story that goes along with it. And that fascinates me,
sure.
the history behind that.
Well, there's your subject for a slide presentation. Go ahead and take
Absolutely.
copies, photographic
Very
copies.
good. I like it. Learning a lot from you guys in these last two outings.
Thank you.
This is fantastic.
I'm
This is
amazed at how many pictures you got without people in them.
Yeah, well, I try and work that pretty hard to get rid of the people as much as possible. We hit Bodie about 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning. And I'm trying to think, it was actually the first week of October is when we hit it. So there wasn't a lot of people to start with. If you hit during the middle of the summer when there's traveled peaks, yeah, it can be pretty crowded. Now,
So-
one picture towards the end of the International Oddfellows building, towards the end, that went to black and white. It took me 20 minutes to wait for two people who were looking through the window for them to finally move on. I do have pictures of them in the window, but as far as using it without the people, I had to wait 20 minutes or so to get them out of the way.
It's called persistence.
Persistence, exactly.
Well, that was great, Doug. Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's
So,
really good.
when
Definitely.
you're shooting a place like that, like Bodie, do you have like the story in mind? Are you picking out shots that will work with each other for this video presentation, or does that come after?
I will say that I do both.
Uh-huh.
We went to Bodie with no specific plan in mind. It had been 18 years since I'd been there before, so I was just more enthralled with kind of see what it looked like. Now, I do a lot of work for the El Dorado Nature Center, and they will give me an assignment. They want a specific topic or so. Now there, I will have that topic in mind and plan the images I take based on the mission involved as to why I'm taking pictures. So I do both, Robin. Hope that
Okay.
answers your question.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
wow.
Another thing I might mention historically about Bodie, I attend a lot of auctions of old things, such as the stock certificates and bottles and that. And anything with Bodie attached to it, the price automatically goes up.
Really?
Yes. It's
Yeah,
very popular.
for those of you who aren't knowledgeable about Bodie, Bodie, as you saw, is part of the national parks and part of the state parks groupings. They like to say that they maintain the buildings as they were found. They call it the arrested state of decay. So they stop the decay. What they will do is if they have a building that's starting to fall over or lean over, they'll prop it up. They do re-roof the buildings to keep the water out of it because water rot is really what destroys the buildings the fastest. So you will see new roofs on the buildings. But as far as the equipment and whatnot, the one photograph you saw of the gas pumps, one of the things that they do almost daily is they park a stake bed truck out in front of the gas pumps. The truck is almost brand new as far as the way they've restored it. And the pumps, as you saw, were pretty rustic. I was fortunate to catch it without that truck on there because it just gave too much of a dichotomy between the times, the rusted pumps versus the fairly new restored truck. It's about a 38 or so truck. Dodge, I think it was. But it's an awesome place to go visit. And while you're there, we combined it with a trip into the Eastern Sierras to catch the fall color, the fall leaf colors. So I have another slide presentation of our trip to Bishop. That's where our trip started. So we were there for about 4 days. We did Bishop, we did Bodie. Bridgeport is just north of Bodie by about 5-6 miles. Bodie, for those who don't know, it is about almost 9,000 foot in elevation. You didn't notice any trees at that level because you were above tree level, but two, a lot of the trees that were below tree level were chopped out for the wood and whatnot to create a cobbing inside the mines and the buildings. They had to bring it in from the Bishop area. They actually put an individual railroad from Bishop up to Bodie just to haul wood up and supplies up to it.
Did you get a headache then?
At that elevation?
Yeah,
No, but you sure get out of breath early.
I get a headache over 7,000. That's it.
Oh. Any questions or anything on either the videos or how to get to the video method?
This is all fantastic, Doug.
Yeah,
Any questions?
Yeah, very good.
Doug, I got some question for you in the chat.
I'm gonna have to scoot, you guys. I hope to see you all next week. Everybody have a good weekend, okay? And
All
thank
right,
you so
Robin.
much.
All right.
Take care, Robin.
Take care.
You
Take
spent
care.
a lot of time on that, Doug. we all really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm doing
Roland,
a
go
happy
ahead and ask your
dance.
question again, please.
Yeah, I got a question. What
Don't
size
forget.
is your laptop or desktop as far as the memory?
I have a desktop computer. It's a Dell, not that that matters. It has 64 gigabyte of memory, and it has a fairly fast video card. I use almost Lightroom 90% of the time, and I'll augment Lightroom with Photoshop about 10% of the time. Lightroom, if you look at their specs on the website, they tout that they want at least 8 gigabytes of memory, and they think it works better with 16. About the same for Photoshop. Does that answer your question?
No, I think you did, because that is just a concern if I'm gonna start loading all my pictures, because they're still in those little memory cards.
Right. Now, the two camera bodies that I use, one is my crop sensor. That is a 22 megapixel sensor. And my full frame camera is a 31 megapixel body. So they do end up with a fairly large size photograph in Lightroom. So my hard drive, I've got a dedicated 4 terabyte portable hard drive to store my pictures on. And with those 56,000 images, I have about 3/8 of the size of that 4 gigapixel, a terabyte pixel portable hard drive filled. Most of it's empty.
Okay. Yeah, I think that would help. Because I'm trying to get somebody to build me a desktop that would handle all the things I see. I'm beginning to take a lot of pictures, but I'm beginning to worry because I also have a Dell, but it's antiquated Dell. So and the guy quoted me like it's almost $3,000, and
Depending upon what equipment you had on it, that's not a bad number.
That's why
I used a Dell that I bought in 2010 up until the mid part of 2019. And I was using Lightroom. Probably 3/4 of the images you see of those 56,000 were processed under the old system. That only had 16 gigabyte of memory.
Okay.
When I upgraded to the mid part of last year, primarily because when I added the full frame 31 megapixel sensor, I needed a lot more speed, if you will, out of Lightroom to do what I do.
Okay.
And I paid from Dell with a significant senior discount they gave me. It was almost $2,300.
Okay.
using my existing monitor.
Okay, yeah, that's good. I like that. Because they're getting pretty expensive and I really don't wanna, use my, money and then I cannot use it. That will only take like 2-3 years to use. That will be no good. That's why I'm asking.
Mhm.
Well, thank you, Doug. You did a great job as usual.
Yeah,
Very,
Thank
very,
you.
very good presentation.
Very good,
Appreciate
Doug.
it.
Thank you all.
And well, Alan, you came in late. Wednesday, Doug, Amy, and I are all going to present pictures that we shot with a 50mm prime. That was between today and next Wednesday. So that this came from a Rolando question and a couple other people, and we're going to illustrate how the 50mm perspective, what you can do with it, and how not having a zoom forces you to think about where you stand and how to compose the picture when you don't have that telephoto to cheat, to get what you want. So it helps it helps you think a lot more about composition. So I didn't tell Doug what to do. I didn't tell him what I'm doing. I didn't tell Amy what she's doing. So you'll get 3 different viewpoints of what you can do with a 50mm lens on Wednesday. Okay, we'll see everybody Wednesday. Have a good weekend.
Okay, thank
I'd
you.
like
Have
to
a
make
good
a-
weekend.
Thank
Comment
you.
to
Thank
Doug.
Stay
you.
safe, everybody.
Everybody stay healthy, huh?
Good
God
night.
bless.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
That's the way it is. Good night.
Okay.
Good night.